Please welcome Ian McKellen.
Well, Ian.
How lovely to be here.
Yeah, it's lovely to have you here.
Thank you very much indeed. What are we going to talk about?
Well, can I ask you I'm going to ask you about a prequel. If you're a magician and you're Gandalf and now you're in the prequel,
Yeah.
are you younger?
Yes, of course.
Oh. How many?
70 years younger.
You're 70 years.
But don't forget he's 7,000 years old. So, you know, 70, give or take, doesn't really matter. That's what I'm backing. In fact, he's going to be exactly 12 years older, isn't he? Because that's how long it is since we did Lord of the Rings.
Yes, that's right.
But he looks basically the same. And it's Gandalf the Grey. It's not that boring old Gandalf the White.
So you're back to the grey now?
Yes, the jokes and the fireworks and the smoking. Don't you love it?
Absolutely.
Don't you love it? The most
Lord of the
popular
Rings.
kids' heroes, Gandalf smokes, and no one's ever mentioned it. In Lord of the Rings, they all smoke.
Yeah, but Tolkien wrote it a long time ago,
I know, but even so, you'd thought...
You think they'd change it?
See, when you look at the films, you think they must be the most exciting films to make, but they must be very difficult because I know you're in front of a green screen, which our audience may not understand. So could you explain how you have to work with those little people?
Well,
Sherry, less of that, please. Sorry, not working with little people.
If we appear to be in front of some fantastic scenery, we are actually there. You know, you're helicoptered up. No walking, Janet. You're actually helicoptered up, and you know, you feel very, very privileged. If you then go back into the studio and they want to do a close-up of you, that's when they'll have this green screen behind on which they will project the scenery. But when you're shrinking down fully sized actors like Jimmy Nesbitt and Martin Freeman and making them look
That's what
small.
they do on this show to me.
Well, but if you were doing it in The Hobbit, I, being told I have to be in my own separate set.
Exactly.
Whilst two cameras simultaneously film them and me. And it's absolutely miserable.
Is it?
It is. But there we are. It's always the case. And I never worked with Elijah Wood. I never worked with Martin Freeman, really. I mean, when we were together in the same shot, I had to look at his belly button, and he had to look at the top of my pointy hat to make us look different sizes. It's all very complicated. But that aside, no, New Zealand. It's a privilege to go. It's a beautiful country. Beautiful.
It's stunning. I mean, Lord of the Rings, the trilogy was just my favourite movies of all time.
Was it good?
I've watched them endlessly, round and round and round. I thought they were fabulous. But they were very much, you know, the world is at stake, very much that kind of tension that was going on through the three of them. Is The Hobbit, because this is a trilogy, isn't it? This is the first one of another trilogy as a prequel to the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Is it the same feeling with this one?
No, it isn't. And Tolkien wrote The Hobbit first, although we're filming it second. He wrote it first. And he wrote it in the first person. He was telling the story, as it were, to one of his children. And that's how it reads, and that's how it'll be.
So there's a narrator?
No, there isn't a narrator. We've taken the responsibility of being Tolkien and caring for his story, but it's an adventure story. And you're right, Lord of the Rings was saving the world. And that story, the hero never made it back home. But in this story, of course, he does.
Bilbo Baggins is played by
Martin Freeman.
Brilliant.
And he was played in the Lord of the Rings by Ian Holm. And there's a bit of trickery, and you can't quite work out which actor it is. It's full of fun, yes. Martin is sensational.
Yeah, a wonderful actor.
Really?
I've seen him in film in the office, of course. Very funny. Then I saw him on stage. He was absolutely brilliant. And now he's going to be a big, massive star. Sometimes I just stood watching him behind the camera, feeding him his lines, and I thought, how does he do it? I have no idea. And they asked him to give me a few lessons. But he said he wouldn't give away any of his secrets.
Well, The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey, is actually being released, I think, in New Zealand today.
It opened about 12 hours ago. I should have been there, but you know why I wasn't there?
Why?
Because I wanted to be here.
But it's released here on December the 14th.
That's right.
In the UK.
In time for Christmas.
Oh,
yes. And
fabulous.
people have already booked their seats.
I'm sure they have.
I know.
Me included. You're going to stay with us, Ian, aren't you, for the next part of Loose Women?
Oh, please.
Excellent. Now we're thrilled to still be in the company of the wonderful Ian McKellen. And there is so much going on in your life, as ever. Not only is The Hobbit coming out on the 14th of December, but you're also involved in a DVD that's coming out for Christmas, which is British Legends of Stage and Screen.
So I'm sitting at home with nothing to do late at night, and I turn on the television, and there's Derek Jacobi, and I think, talking about himself, very interesting, he's no friend of mine. And then it comes up, he said, Legends of Stage and Screen. I thought, why the hell haven't they interviewed me? And then I remembered that they had, you see. But more than that, I have nothing else to tell you. I can't remember doing it, and I don't know.
What happened?
No idea.
I want to know about the new sitcom that you're going to do.
We're going to do it here, in this very building.
So you'll be next door. You'll have to be a regular on
I'll
this
be
show.
in and out of here, don't worry. Well, it's with Derek Jacobi, who I...
Oh, fantastic.
I mean, he and I were at university together, and we acted together then, but we've never acted
Which university was that?
At Cambridge.
Oh, really?
And he read history, I read English, and we've been friends ever since. I've always tried to try and do a play, and we've never made it. And suddenly, ITV say, would we do a sitcom?
Wow.
And it was at that time called Vicious Old Queens. And I said, I'm not old. So it's about a couple of gay men who've been living together for 50 years. They live right in the middle of Soho. It's all changed around them. They're slightly reclusive, but my guy's an actor and still trying to get work. There we go. We'll see.
Frankie de la Tour, she's in it as well.
Frankie de la Tour and Marcia Warren. I mean, I couldn't be happier.
Good.
Yes.
So
and directed by Ed Bye, who's Ruby Wax's husband.
Yeah. Now, I've got a viewer's question from you, from Daniel.
Yes.
It says, thank you, Ian, for co-founding Stonewall, a gay rights organisation. When you were setting it up, did you ever realise just how much an impact the group would have on society?
Well, that's... there should be a book about it, really, but... I mean, to have been part of a civil rights movement that actually works, and when was it, 20, 25 years ago we started? We didn't have a list of aims, we just said we wanted equality for gay people, legal equality, that meant getting rid of some of the laws, and that's all happened. And then social equality, which was, I suppose, persuading the public at large that it was time that we all were relaxed and treated everybody the same. And that's what we're now currently doing. And I'm going around schools in my spare time and talking about what it was like to grow up gay in all those years ago when it was illegal in this country and you could not make love without...
It's astonishing to think that now,
when you tell the kids that you could be put in prison for making love, they just can't understand that concept. Thank goodness. It's...
But are we still fighting homophobia? I mean, did you find that in the schools that you went to?
The schools I go to are ones who are absolutely determined to get rid of bullying of all sorts and understand that all kids have to be treated the same.
Right.
And homophobic bullying is part of that. But these are good schools that I go to, state schools.
Yes.
And it's remarkable. Everyone is extremely relaxed about talking about being gay and in a very grown-up way, teachers and students, and I'm terribly impressed.
It's still hard, Ian, isn't it, for people in show business and sport and in the city to come out?
I was just going to say, Ian, do you watch X Factor? You probably don't, do you?
I'm with X Factor, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You know there's a band called Union J on there.
Of course I do. I'm friends with them, yes.
Well, Jamie...
Jamie's just come out. Wonderful.
Which is wonderful, isn't it? I don't think we'd have seen that without the work that you and Stonewall have done, to be honest.
Yes, well, I sent some congratulations because it takes a lot of determination to decide you're going to do it. But Jamie will discover that his life is now totally better because he's honest, he's not worrying about it, people will be straightforward with him and he can get on with his life. And the fans don't give a
It's about his
toss,
talent.
frankly.
Yes.
So it is sort of over, but there are always pockets of people who think, I'm going to lose my job. And in the old days, they would have done. A teacher would have lost their job if they'd said they're gay. It's not true now. And still, there are people in Hollywood, which you don't really look to for social advance, do you? Are saying, if people know I'm gay, they won't allow me to play a straight part. Well, we allowed a straight man to play a gay man in Philadelphia, didn't we, Tom Hanks?
Exactly.
Why shouldn't the reverse be true? And I don't think audiences mind at all. Really.
No.
It's acting. It's pretending.
Ian, sadly, we've run out of time, but thank you so much for coming on and being loose and live with us. Thank you. Ian McKellen.